Hello everyone! In this video you can see how I test my white pigment paste for the lace effect again. I want to see when I change the ratio of the pigment paste. Yeah, you already saw that the temperature of the resin was 27 degrees. So it's 4 degrees warmer than in my previous video because then it was 23 degrees. And now I'm going to add 15 gram of resin in my paper cup. There you can see it. And I'm going to add 8 drops of my Moonlight White pigment paste. And I also didn't do that in my previous video. I just added some and I didn't count it, but now I do. What I also need to mention is that my studio temperature is 23 degrees. I think that also can affect the lacing. And I've decided to still use the round geode mold because then I can compare it much better. Because I also think the shape of the mold influences the lacing. So that's why I still use the geode tray mold of 20 centimeters. It's a silicone mold from Molds and Shapes. And the link is in the description. I also have a promo code. You can find it in the description. My promo code is JustPaint10. Then you will get 10% discount. So, going to pour the white against the edge of the silicone mold. There you can see it. And what someone mentioned in the description in my previous video is that I could use less white because I mentioned that I don't like the white edge. So I'm not going to use that much white. So thank you so much for your suggestion. I'm pushing it to the sides. You can see it. So again, my studio temperature is 23 degrees. I waited until the resin was 27 degrees and I added 8 drops of Moonlight White pigment paste in 15 gram of resin. So that's what I did. And now I'm filling the mold with clear resin, not all the way to the top. And the first color I'm using is from Ette Art. It's a resin ink and it's called Campery. Very nice color. And what I also did with this resin ink, I also heated that a little bit. Maybe that influences the lacing. And the second color is called Sangria, also from Ette Art. The link to these resin inks are also in the description. Yeah, and I waited for about 12 minutes for the resin to warm up to 27 degrees. So this will be my mixture for the center. I'm using crushed glass, metallic crushed glass in the color bright gold. You can find it in my Etsy shop. There you can see it. Very nice. But also mirror sand. And this one is called Black Knight. Sparkles a lot. Very nice. And I'm going to add super sharp glitter in the color Fuchsia. I think that will be nice for the center. It already changes a lot. And again, I'm getting those lines from the outside to the inside. Very nice. Yeah, I'm very curious if these changes will affect the lacing. Yeah, what I mentioned, I waited for about 12 minutes before the resin was 27 degrees. But also that depends on your room temperature. If your room temperature is higher, then you will not have to wait for 12 minutes, maybe shorter, I don't know. But I waited 12 minutes, so that's not that long. Yeah, I keep the camera rolling so you can see that it changes. It looks pretty. I like the white, and the colors are very bright. So this is right after pouring. A close up, you can see some color, and the white looks amazing. I like this. Yeah, I have some tiny air bubbles, but I have bought an air bubble remover, so I'm going to try it because those tiny air bubbles are not nice. So hopefully, with this machine, those tiny air bubbles will be gone. So it already looks very pretty, I think. So this is 1 hour later. It changes a bit, not a lot, especially in the white. Some nice effects. You can see more color uh, in the background. So that's the other side of the geoda tray. I'm very curious how that side is looking. But yeah, we need to wait for that for 24 hours. But I'm already very pleased how it looks. So we are 24 hours later, and now I'm going to take the geoda tray out of the mold. Very careful. And I'm very curious how it looks on the other side of the tray. I'm liking those lines. Now they also have some color. In my previous video, they were all white. And I like it when both sides are pretty. I like this side very much. Now the other side. Whoa, very colorful. I like this a lot. Yeah, that's very nice. I like the lines and the dots, the lacing effect. So I'm going to compare it with the other one. I will show you in a minute. Now you can see the differences. But I'm very pleased. Let me know what you think. I will show you a close-up at the end of this video. But also this side is pretty. Yeah, I'm very pleased with my white pigment paste. It gives some nice effects. Now I'm going to show you side by side. And on the right side is the first try, first test. And you can see less white dots. Still pretty, but... And also no color in the white lines that go from the outside to the inside. I will show you up close. Then you can see the differences much better. This center is much nicer. It has a lot of depth because the white dots are above the white lines. So that's nice. But that's also in my first test. There you can see it. So the ratios and the temperature, yeah, it has an effect on the lacing. So this is the end result. I have it outside in the daylight. Such bright color. I like it very much. And for sure I'm going to try this again. I'm going to test it again with different temperatures and ratios of the white pigment paste. But I'm very pleased with this one. Very nice. Let me know what you think of it. Or maybe you have suggestions what I should do in my third test. But so far I'm very pleased with the effect of the white pigment paste. It has some great depth. The center is very pretty. So for my third try or third test, I'm going to use the same mold because then I can compare it much better. Everyone else, I think, is doing the lace effect in a flower mold, but I thought why not use a geode tray mold. Also, this side is pretty, not as colorful, but still some nice effects. So in the description you can find all the materials I've used with a link to the website also at the end of the video. You can also find my promo codes in the description, so if you're curious, please check that out. There are some nice discounts. Yes, I want to thank you all for watching again, and hopefully I will see you in my next video.